Hey guys, and welcome. Damn it, why did I do that? Welcome back to the shop. Today, I finally did it. I finally got myself a cabinet saw somewhat, and I am going to show you how I put it together. It wasn't that hard, but there's some challenging things and some things you should take note that weren't in the instructions. So, like, subscribe, let's get this channel booming. I want to have a good year this year. This is the first video of this year, and I want a good result. So, give me a thumbs up. And let's get started on getting this bad boy together. So there she is, the table saw we're going to assemble today. She's in the box. And in the box, I haven't taken anything out. Not yet. This is what you get. Mind you, I already took the instructions out and kind of looked them over. And we're going to go through it. So I'm going to unload the box. This is pretty much the tools you're going to need. Now mind you, missing out of this tool is a 4mm wrench. But I'm using Allen's, so Allen sockets, so I'm going to use an impact for some of this, as much as I can. Then I have all my, those, calls for 8mm socket, calls for a 13mm socket, your combination wrench, your square, your C-clamp, all your wrenches, screwdrivers. So we're going to dive into this and instructions. If you don't have a set of these, you can get them online. They have a pretty good PDF on that. So we're going to start. I'm going to get rid of everything in the box and start putting this thing together. So this is the saw unboxed. There's the assembly. Now a tip to get the saw, because this is actually pretty heavy. What I did is I cut open one side of the box, cut the styrofoam, and just slid it out. That was my easy way. So everything's here. All your accessories are up here. This is getting fixed. What I do like is this. Everything's labeled out as far as what goes where. So that's kind of cool. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put these extension tables onto the saw. And that's pretty much, what is that? 610 M10 by 25 bolts, washers and lock washers. And that's going to be pretty easy. So let's get started. So these tables are interchangeable either side. So just thread them in. Tighten them, but don't over tighten them, because I'm sure you're going to have to adjust them later. There, that was easy. Next step. Okay, so now we assemble the stand, and you're gonna have 4 of these that are duplicates. The tab, this tab right here goes inside, and they get fastened with these bad boys. And I use an impact just because it's faster. This and the other one do opposing, and then there's one that's got, or 2 that's got with the little plaque on the side of it like that. They have to be opposite. Those are different ones. And all you do is just over the top, screw a little bit. Well, sometimes I'll just do this. Okay, next step, you put the dust shield on. It just sits on top, just got little slots here, so that way you can hold it down, because the stand goes right on top. There's only one way to put this, well, there's two ways to put the stand on. It doesn't really matter because there's two duplicate panels on either side. So just flip it, and these take the, what are they, the cabinet bolts are, don't know the size of the bolts, but I know it takes a 6mm Allen key. So I have a 6mm Allen key socket. And it's the same thing like anything. Just put it in, align it. Once you get all of them in, then you can tighten it. One at a time. 1, 2, 3. Hey, so your connector, remember? When you're done, it should look something like this. Alright, next step is going to be to put the casters on, and it's a 3 caster system. You got the bottom or the back, and you got the front. Well, sort of the front. It's going to be mounted to the side. So what it does, this was off, so this is a simple bolt. Put that bolt on. You have a caster, big deal. Same with this bar, one single bolt. Stick it in so that the hook is over there, no big deal. Now the change that I did with this one, oh, in the instructions it says that you need a 13 and a 14 mil wrench. No, you need two 13 mil wrenches, wrong sizes. And it's pretty self-explanatory on where these things go. There's two holes right there, 2 holes right there, 2 holes right there, and 2 holes right there. And in the instructions it said to assemble the whole thing. I think it's going to be easier to do half and half. So I have half of this up. I'm going to put this all up, loose fit. Same thing with the other piece, loose fit, and then connect this bar. And then the only other thing that's going to be done on the underside is these brackets. I'm assuming is for the electrical cord, are going in this hole. So it has a bolt already on the back of it. Undo it, put it through the hole, bolt it up. No big deal. Okay, and also to install the casters onto the stand itself, you need the M8 by 16s, and that will require a 5mm socket, or not a 5mm socket, a 5mm hex key. I just put it in my cordless. And like I said, just put them a little bit, because it's going to be a little interesting to put these. So just line it up and see what you can do. Okay, important thing, if you're gonna put this on separately, like this axle and this axle separately, make sure that this is on the same plane as this, otherwise it's upside down. If you're bending the crap out of this bar to put it on, not working right. So, as you can see, everything works. Give her a test. We got the feed in. We got the cords, I think that's for the cord. That's in. So now it's time to flip it. And for this, you should have a couple people. because this table is not exactly light. So I'm gonna flip it up. All right, there's a few things that, well, I messed up on one thing. One thing I messed up on is this whole base. See where these brackets are? These brackets were supposed to be on the other side of the saw. So you can have the fence and for the cables to wrap around. Not a big deal. I don't really care. I like all my stuff on one side anyways. What I might still do is, because now this is going to be on the long side, so I don't know. We'll see. So the other part is all put the nuts on, put the wheels on. I took the blade out, put the miter slot in, just little stuff, and then you put together the rails. And the rails are put together by 2 set screw bars. In this one, there's one right here, and then there's one right here. And these are 2 pieces. You put them together, you make them as straight and flat as possible, and then you put a whole bunch of these hex heads, because they're going to go into all of these holes. And then they're going to be back with nuts, and that'll hopefully flatten everything out. And it's the same thing with this side. Same thing. It's got this little set screw bar. You put it in, screw it in, make sure you try to keep it as flat as possible, and then you screw it on. Okay. So these wings are loose again. So what I'm gonna end up doing is putting the back ones on, getting these ones tight, then I'll level this off to the table, then I'll tighten these ones, and then I'll end up tightening the rest of it. So okay, so after you screw around with this, so you have to try to get this flat to this, and this has to, there's a lot of little monkeying around stuff you have to do. I didn't want to show on camera because it's just hours of empty footage, really. So in a nutshell, you want this to be high enough for the fence to ride on. So you got to monkey around with that. Your zero, you want it matching with the zero on your fence, so you got to monkey around with that a little bit. You got to monkey around with the back a little bit to make sure it's high enough for the fence to ride. You got to make sure that these are not proud. They're just a smidgen under. You can't get it totally flat with that. Just a smidgen under. That's all you need for that. Same with this side. So it's a lot of monkeying around, and now I'm to the point where now I need to calibrate it. So I need to make sure my miter slots and my saw blade are parallel to each other, and the same with the miter slot to my fence and vice versa. So it's a lot of calibrating, and if you want, that could be another video, but I think this is enough just for an assembly video. The reasons why I bought this saw is number one, price. It's a cabinet. Whoops. It was a cabinet saw. Let's do this. There we go. So it was a cabinet saw that was a good price. It was mobile. That was the number two thing that was very important to me. It was mobile because this shop serves a dual purpose. It's both automotive and woodworking. And the fact that I can switch it from a 110, which is what I have in this shop right now, to a 220, which will be a future thing that will happen in this shop or the next shop, one of the two. So I have the option to switch it to a 220. And the fact that it's belt driven. So my Ridgid miter saw is also belt driven, and love it. No problems. Never have to really touch it. Every once in a while I gotta play with the fence. Besides that, it's a really good saw. And I don't really want to spend thousands of dollars on a saw, especially one that doesn't move, because that's not what the shop's about. The shop's about everything. So everything has to be able to move. So that's pretty much it. The other table saw that I have, which is a Ridgid, it was a contractor saw. That one's gonna be sold. And then I'm gonna end up buying a little compact one. So if I have to go out and do jobs somewhere, I have the little guy. And if it's something big, I'm gonna have to take it back here to rip it or cut it or whatnot. That's pretty much my reasons for getting this saw. I like it so far. I've heard some different things from different YouTubers, like watching other videos. So not sure what's gonna happen with that. There are upgrades coming. One upgrade could be I might upgrade the fence if it is a pain in the ass to make parallel. Right there in the slot, empty slot there, that's where I'm going to put a router lift, so I can get rid of my router table back there. Good one. Some people might ask about the dust collection. I have an easy solution for that. So I don't have a dust collector in here. I run everything through a shop vac and a dust deputy, which is fine for what I need right now. I don't have the room to put double bag dust collector, but I can, off that 4-inch port, run an MJ with a reducer on it to reduce it down to the size that I need, and that's what I'm going to use. I like the fact that it's powerful enough. I have a big enough shop vac that it'll create enough suction to bring that dust down. So I should be good with that. So that's pretty much it from here. I hope you enjoyed the assembly video. It wasn't as in-depth as I thought it was going to be. It was easier than I thought, and harder at the same time, if that makes any sense. So that's it from the shop. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe. Give me a like. And I will see you the next video. Have a good one. Bye.